Brutal cave exploring accident, Calavera Cenote, 1995. The incident at the Temple of Doom in the Calvera Cenote on August 17, 1995. For privacy reasons, we have changed the names of the concerned persons. In 1995, 8 experienced divers met in Tulum, Mexico for a day of cave exploration. They descended below Tulum into the caves and made their way among the limestone pillars and walls. In the end, only 5 divers would make it back to the surface in one piece. More than 6,000 cenote caves filled with pristine waters can be found in the Yucatan Peninsula in southern Mexico. Beautiful and close to the Caribbean coast, it has become a popular destination for tourists and divers of all skill levels. Water well is the literal translation of the Mayan word cenote. The Maya people revered these watering holes because they provided an essential commodity, life-sustaining liquid. Before moving forward, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and without any further ado, let's dive in. Moreover, the Mayans viewed them as a channel to the gods. Over 120 human skeletons were found in a single cenote, albeit the exact cause of death and time of death remains a mystery. What is commonly referred to as cave diving is the practice of scuba diving within the underground chambers of a cenote. You'll be diving in what's called an overhead environment, which means there will be obstructions in the sky. When scuba diving or open water diving, all you have to do to reach the surface is ascend. When diving in an overhead environment, you have 3 options in case of trouble: move forward, move backward, or hope for a tiny air pocket. Many kinds of specialized hardware are needed. This variation is a major contributor to the inherent dangers of cave diving, especially for inexperienced divers. When scuba diving in the cenotes of Yucatan, divers have the option of sticking to the cavern lines, which serve as permanent rope guides, or venturing further into the cave system. There's a slim risk you won't make it back to the surface if you venture beyond the main cavern's boundaries. A busy season for Maria and Harry at their dive shop in Cozumel, Mexico in 1995, where divers in Mexico had multiple inquiries from tourists inquiring about cenote tours in the Yucatan. Despite their expertise as open water divers, they started making preparations for a visit of this nature. Maria and Harry opted to engage a local guide or dive master because neither of them had expertise in cave diving. An open water diving instructor was the one they tracked down, and he graciously volunteered to show the 2 of them around some of the cenotes he considered to be the best. Now that we had a tour leader and a diving spot picked out, all we had to do was wait. 8 divers gathered on August 17th at Gran Cenote, located 5 kilometers north of the town of Juan, led the group into the cenote's main section while Harry stayed at the back. There is a primary part that is 14 meters below the surface and encompasses a full 360 degrees with a radius of around 366 meters. As they continued deeper into the caverns, they were surrounded by limestone walls and columns with water dripping from the ceiling to the floor. This was no open water dive, and Juan led them further into the Madonna Passage, a tunnel leading to the kilometers-long cave system. The Madonna Passage was beyond the main caverns, past the guidelines and past the sign. Juan returned to the passageway using Harry's nearly empty tank. As he swam through the pillars and walls of the main cavern, every second counted. When he reached the entrance's signs, he realized that the passing of time was irrelevant. After finding 2 divers without oxygen and assuming they were both dead, he continued down the tunnel until he found the 3rd diver, who turned out to be Maria. Outside the entrance, Harry worried that his wife had left and kept staring back at the ladder leading into the skull's mouth for 3 minutes before the splash of a diver surfacing prompted him to trick one of the Dutch visitors and the American woman. After effect, an incompetent dive master was to blame for the deaths of 3 divers. Dive shop owners and instructors in Yucatan and Cozumel were outraged by the incompetence of Juan, wondering how he could lead this group knowing he wasn't properly trained. The deaths caused pain and anger throughout the Yucatan Peninsula. Despite this, he was never charged with a crime, though many believe his action should be considered manslaughter. Inadequate equipment and lack of training can lead to a diver becoming disoriented and unable to return to the surface alive. If you ever find yourself underwater and staring down a dark tunnel at a sign that reads, "Stop, prevent your death," you should probably return to the surface before your oxygen tank runs dry. And on that note, we must adjourn for today, but thanks for watching another video with us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more.